search for.
But it's clearly a puff in disguise.
A puff in disguise.
Yeah, it's a puff in disguise. They're like, Chips Ahoy, we're gonna make this new cereal, and it's gonna be so amazing. And you know, it's like having cookies in a bowl. It's like nobody's ever done that before. Cookie Crisp.
Ugh.
And then, I mean, Cookie Crisp is bad. But then Chips Ahoy is like, oh, we can have our own cereal. And then it's just literally like a squished Reese puff that's like maple syrup flavored with cocoa powder on the outside. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it left a bad taste in my mouth.
It's not how cookies should be. Even though it looks exactly like a mini cookie. I don't know how they make those little chocolate chips like look so perfect. They're so tiny and they're so tiny and they're like placed on the thing like it would be a real cookie.
They look perfect. Seriously, that's not.
Look at this. This is literally a miniature cookie. But it only looks like that because of the chocolate chips.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, otherwise it looks like a cracked piece of desert. Like it doesn't necessarily. I mean, I guess that's kind of what cookies look like. Well, at least Chips Ahoy, like, you know, crumbly, like packaged cookies.
Yeah, they do look like that. It's like a desert. It's an oasis of sugar and sand in your mouth.
Yeah,
they are sandy.
pretty much.
They are kind of sandy.
They're sandy. They're definitely like crunchy, but not in a very satisfying way. Although I didn't try it with milk, it probably gets a little mushy when you have it in the bowl for a few minutes.
It's you got to eat it fast or it loses the crunch, and then it's just like soggy maple syrup. It's not.
Fuck.
It's not good. You literally have to you pour that milk in and you go. You have to finish that cereal bowl, or you're gonna have a bad time. So Chips Ahoy cereal, not really that great. I saw it at the grocery store. I had to pick it up because
I
had to know if they actually took just the regular Chips Ahoy cookies, made them mini, and put them in a bowl. But no, that would be like 1,000 calories a bowl. So
yeah.
So which these are only like 100 something. So they did a pretty good job not making them.
Well, yeah, it's
really bad for you.
It's 120 for a cup.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Which, you know, a cup, well, I guess a cookie is like smaller than a cup, so, you know, 120, I guess it's not, I don't know, that kind of sucks. Like, you could probably have one cookie for 120 calories and it'd probably be better.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be an entire bowl. They did a good job condensing it so you could have an entire bowl of cookies when it's still about the same amount of calories as a cookie.
And just as I suspected, it's made with corn flour. So it's, you know, that's how they justify it being cereal and not just small cookies.
Yep. But, you know, they got to use that old Chips Ahoy branding. I wouldn't have bought it if it wasn't Chips Ahoy.
It's just like Cookie Crisp, but it tastes like kind of mapley, which is fucking weird.
They couldn't just completely copy Cookie Crisp. Everybody that saw that box at the grocery store this weekend knew that they were coming out and and Cookie Crisp was going to be pissed if it was the same recipe. Everybody would have been like, this is just Cookie Crisp. It had to be Chips Ahoy, but they couldn't figure out how to make it taste like Chips Ahoy. You think it's just Cookie Crisp?
Well, does Post make Cookie Crisp?
I don't know. I can look it up, I suppose. Here at
with this convenient computer.
This
that's
convenient
right.
podcast about searching.
The convenient people also search for Control Panel. God damn it!
But okay. So I was gonna type in is is Cookie Crisp Post cookie. Yeah. Man, we are bringing the cereal back hard this episode.
Wait, we talked about cereal before?
Yeah, because we talked about Dig 'Em. That
was
it was all cereal, Cookie Crisp. In the Raisin Bran son.
Yeah.
Don't go down on me.
Don't go down on me.
Yeah, Raisin Bran son, you get out of here. Stop trying to go down on me, Raisin Bran son. All right. Cookie Crisp cereal. Let's see what the company is for Cookie Crisp. It's Nestle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh wait.
General Mills.
Oh, this is. Nestle made Cookie Crisp flavored drink beverage.
Oh.
Anyway, You want to drink your Cookie Crisp? Just put it in your milk.
It is General Mills.
Do you think it is?
so
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's literally the post version.
It does
of
look
Cookie Crisp.
identical.
Yeah, it really does. And even in that picture, it looks the same as the Chips Ahoy one, where it looks like it actually has chocolate chips on it. Whereas the actual product, it's more like there's just like brown specks mixed into it.
Yeah. Well, a few of them do look like this, though.
Really?
And
They have like
Yeah, look at this.
they're sitting on top of the.
yeah, they're perfectly rested right on top of this.
Really?
A lot of look at that. Look at those.
I guess.
I mean, it could just be because the mixture, like when this one got baked or whatever, the
Did it get
little
baked,
chocolate
Ryan?
chips when this got baked, when this smoked up a big old fat bake, and
Rolled
bake
up
stick,
rolled up a big old.
a big old bake stick. That's right. Okay, yeah, they rolled up a big old fat bake stick, and they, the cookie, the chocolate chips, they just went to the top. They floated to the top, and then it got baked, and they stuck there. So some of them, those chocolate chips are just being lazy, and they sink down to the bottom, or in the middle.
Fat, lazy
Yeah,
chocolate
big
chips.
fat lazy chocolate chips. We know you. You put too many of you in your mouth, and you become a big fat lazy yourself. So eat healthy, and don't eat Chips Ahoy flavored cereal.
Yeah, which it's really not Chips Ahoy flavored. There's like
Yeah.
nothing Chips Ahoy about it except for the fact that it looks like a cookie.
It does. It does look. They got the look right. I can appreciate the look, but looks aren't all that matters. People also search for podcasts.
That's true.
Finding the answers to life's greatest questions are what we do here. That's the purpose. And today, I need to tell you that I went to a magical place, over the weekend.
Today, over the weekend.
Today, I need to tell you that over the weekend, it's also part of today, but it was yesterday.
There we go.
There you go. Now everyone understands.
At least I understand. now.
Okay, well, if you understand, I'm going to assume that the listeners also understand. So, because that's,
Do they though?
maybe. Tell us in the comments below if you understand. Now, all right. Went to a magical place over the weekend. And it was, it was a pinball-based convention.
Pinball-based convention.
Now, all of you know me as an anime convention man. But what you may not know
Yeah, he really
is that I like pinball, too. And pinball conventions exist.
That's a real exclusive. Hey,
Yeah.
everyone. Ryan likes pinball.
And, I thought maybe we'd be able to figure out some cool things about pinball. It was a cool convention called Cincinnati. And they just set up a bunch of pinball machines. You get to play them for free you pay an entry fee, but then all the machines are free, so you can play them all
Yeah.
day.
Sounds fun.
It's really fun. You remember? Okay, wait. I'm gonna just type in pinball up here real quick.
Have you ever watched the movie Tommy?
Tommy with Elton John?
Yeah, The Who.
Yeah, I have not.
What? Ryan.
Yeah.
You are going to get crucified in the comments.
I know. What's weird is I like Elton John and pinball, but and The Who, and I've never seen that movie. I've seen things from it.
Man, that's fucked up of you.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you just claimed that you like pinball so much and you haven't even seen that movie.
Because I'm too. I play the machines. I'm not part of the culture.
That
it's
is
a
the
game.
culture.
It is a game. It's just I'm into the game of pinball, and part of the culture is that movie. But as you know, I've only seen like 10 movies, so
Yeah.
my pinball love
We've-
didn't leak into my movie.
We've definitely established that before, that you have not seen a lot of movies. But that one, you should definitely watch it. Anyone. I mean, I guess if you like classic rock, it'll be more for you. But there's some really good cameos in that movie. Also, Elton John wears a big old pair of boots. Big old pair of platform
I know
boots.
what that part looks like.
Hold on. I gotta-
Tommy. I don't think this is it. This is a drama / musical. Oh, it is it? No. Yeah.
that is it.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I found it. It was made in 1975. And it's a psychosomatically deaf, dumb, and blind boy becomes a master pinball player and, subsequently, the figurehead of a cult.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really fucking weird movie. Like, I don't know. It's one of those movies where everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta be real stoned if you're gonna watch that movie."
Oh, yeah.
And in a way,
Like The Wall. Pink Floyd.
I mean, but you know, why would you have to be intoxicated? Like,
Yeah.
then you're probably just gonna misunderstand the movie.
The people that made that put a lot of hard work into it, and they were probably not on drugs the entire time. Maybe part of the time.
Well,
But they
yeah, especially the musicians. You know, I'm sure like
were working
I'm
hard.
sure John Entwistle I think John Entwistle was the guy that he's the bass player that OD'd, right?
John Wintissel
Entwistle.
and Twistle.
I'm pretty sure he's the bass player from The Who that died in the 70s.
Maybe. And Twistle death.
Wow, that is like the most insensitive.
In the search bar.
Yeah.
Oh, John Entwistle.
Oh,
Bass player. It came up. Cocaine overdose.
Yeah. Yep, I was right.
I'm sorry. I'm so excited. I just didn't think that was going to bring it up. Can we have a moment of silence?
It was a very succinct way to
John Entwistle.
search for it, but I mean, damn.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm sure that guy was probably fucked up when he was doing some of that movie.
Yep, probably.
Or Roger Daltrey or Pete Townsend, Keith Moon.
They probably did a few things. I'm just saying there was probably at least some period
Yeah.
of them getting down and dirty and not doing some sober
Yeah,
work.
but you don't have to be screwed up on intoxicants, Ryan, to
True.
watch the movie.
You do not have to be anything.
Although it might be a little bit more amusing if you were. I think maybe I was just like having a couple drinks when I watched it. I don't think I was on drugs or anything.
Yeah.
But it's really surreal. Like, and that's one reason why I like it. You know, I like a lot of stuff that's like surreal, like we talked about before, but it definitely has some fun moments too. I think it's Tina Turner, yeah, the Acid Queen. That's her character.
Whoa.
And she sings a song about like she's the Acid Queen, and it's like all trippy and stuff.
Is it because of like LSD acid, or is
Yeah.
it like she's like, okay, so she's
I-
not like
well-
a super villain with acid skin or something?
No, I think it's actually like inspired by LSD, so it's kind of like, you know, ooh, like psychedelic.
Whoa.
It's
That's why
pretty cool,
That's
like,
why
it's
everyone
a-
thinks you have to be high when they're like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's about being high.
kind of. It's more about Tommy, the pinball wizard,
Oh.
and people like become obsessed with him. You've seen Metalocalypse before, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know how like in the show they make all their fans, they're like rabid fan base who like will do anything to like listen to their music and go to their concerts. That's
Yeah.
that's sort of like how they make the fan base of the Pinball Wizard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like Elton John actually in the movie is the Pinball Wizard to begin with.
Oh,
So then
okay.
Tommy like gets really good, and then he faces Elton John, and he wins. He fucking beats Elton John,
Oh.
and he becomes a Pinball Wizard.
Whoa. So this is a movie about taking down the John.
And then you've also probably heard the Pinball Wizard song, right?
Yeah. Of course I've heard that
Kid
song.
sure
Wait,
plays
was that
me
song made?
pinball.
Was that song made for this
Oh.
movie, or was
Yeah.
that something that they
Well,
did
here's
after? or
here's the
before?
thing that's so great about it. Tommy is also an album that they did that is the music for this, and they basically made a movie and an album together. So it's like it's technically a rock opera.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
John Entwistle played himself in this.
Yeah, he was a bass player.
Yeah, and Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
He was in it too. The Preacher.
Yeah, there's like a scene where like John Entwistle like comes like bouncing down like the middle of this room playing a bass line, and then wait, who did you just say? I forgot his name already.
John Entwistle?
No, Eric Clapton.
Oh, Eric Clapton.
And then Eric Clapton like comes in, like plays a sick guitar riff, you know.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. The movie is very weird, and it's like cool though.
That is cool. Man, they got all the like musicians on the cast. They got Tina Turner was the Acid Queen.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is a good lineup up here. I may go watch this, and I think everybody else should as well.
Yeah,
And
but
yeah, but is it like so the movie's something about pinball, but it's not like about the machines themselves or anything. It's just like that's like the
it's
it
more.
could have been like a pro soccer player and somebody like who was like getting really good at soccer.
Yeah,
like,
it's more about the
Could have
character
been any
development.
sport.
It's more about
Yeah.
the character development, but it's also like tied in heavily to like the music, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So pinball was the driving force for the music
Exactly.
and the development.
So
of
you might say
characters.
that the Who likes pinball quite a bit as well.
They probably do.
I wonder if they know anything about like the history of it.
Yeah, they probably did. I mean, I've pulled up here. We've got the history of pinball and pinball machines on thoughtco.com. I think this may be the one. There is an 11 things of there's a list.
11 things you didn't know about the history of pinball.
Yeah, there's the classic list, but I'm not going to go straight to that. We usually
listicle.
do that, and I want to see what an actual article
That's what
would
it
be
is,
about.
Ryan. A listicle.
A listicle.
I'm a little tired of a listicle.
Yeah, let's go right into the history of pinball. Coin-operated arcade
I'd
game.
much rather read a lengthy, well thought out article.
Yeah, an entire podcast of us just reading one article and not commenting on it
No,
or making it funny.
We know how to condense here at People Also Search For.
True.
You know, everyone knows that, age-old trick of like when you're studying a topic, you just read the first paragraph and the last paragraph.
Yeah, and it makes sense because we need some cliff notes because there's a lot of the internet for us to explore, and
Oh yeah. Too much.
to get through all of it and to answer all of the questions, we're going to need to answer them in cliff notes form. So, let me tell you something about pinball. All right?
Sure.
Pinball is a...
Tell the fine listeners.
I will. They're about to hear it. Pinball is a coin-operated arcade game where players score points by shooting metal balls on an inclined play field, hitting special targets, and avoiding losing their balls. Throughout the 1970s.
You don't want to lose your balls,
Yeah, I
Ryan.
never want to
'cause,
lose you gotta
you gotta have balls in this country. We're never
Yeah.
gonna lose inspiration.
You know what you know what I've realized about that quote is
What?
that we talk about balls a lot.
Oh.
Like it's because we only bring it up when it's talking about balls.
Well,
and
you know
it's just
what, Ryan?
there's
I mean,
pinballs.
when we're a species that lives on a ball, a big ball flying through space. So
That's true.
in a way, spheres are like one of the most integral structure in our universe.
That's true. And I need to ask you to leave in the comments whether
Whether you have to have balls in this country.
whether you have to have balls in this country. But no, we were talking about the Earth, and I just need everybody to know that the ground that you're
Oh my
standing on
God.
is like the roof of the Earth, And I tried to explain it to Jacob.
This is gonna be this might get us our first comments, Ryan, on our on
Yeah?
our
Yeah?
YouTube or Facebook.
Are they gonna be
page.
like, oh, they're all flat earthers now because the the ground you stand on is the roof of the Earth?
Yeah, you're getting into some conspiracy theory shit, Ryan.
Yeah, like if you think of the Earth as a home, and a home is where people live. We're on the Earth. We live here. Okay, so you think of the Earth as a home, right? And then you think of a house, right? Same thing. They're a home. People live in them, except one's the Earth, and the other one's like this box with a roof. And since the Earth has an inner section. That's like the inside of the house. And then it has the part that you stand on. The outside of the earth is like the roof. It doesn't let anything in. If there was something raining down, the roof would stop it before it got to like the core of the earth. So it's
Yeah,
just
but-
like the roof of your house.
Yeah,
with
but
rain,
the Earth is
with
mostly
asteroids.
solid though.
Yes, but holes exist, and those are the rooms of the earth.
Oh, you mean like an ant colony?
Yep. They've built a room inside of the earth. See, and we build like we build like underground
I love
layers.
this. I love this logic,
Yeah,
Ryan.
we build like underground layers and whatnot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, totally.
Those are also rooms of the earth.
Speaking of underground layers,
Caves?
Ryan.
Caves, yeah.
Yeah. Caverns,
Caverns?
yeah.
The house of the earth.
The house of the earth.
Yeah. It's the inside of the house of the earth. And then the outside is the roof. All right, continue.
Speaking of layers in the earth, I actually have a specific idea of my dream home. I don't know if you ever did that as a thought experiment, like when you were in middle school or whatever.
Your dream home?
Yeah, write a short story, or write a short essay about your dream house.
I don't know if I did that. Maybe I did I had to do a digital rendering of my dream bedroom for a 3D class I was in college. But that's a little bit different. But yeah, what about your dream house, Jacob? What would you have in that?
I definitely had to do that in middle school, and
Mm-hmm.
and I wrote a little description, and ever since then, it just I never forgot it, and I just would add to it, and so and the modern Sherlock Holmes show from the BBC,
Mm-hmm.
he goes into his what he calls his mind palace. When he goes deep into thought, he can
Excuse me, Janet, I need to go to my mind palace.
yes, exactly. When
I can only think when I'm in there.
it's like the hyperbolic time chamber from
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, you have to figure out a really complicated problem. This is going to take 2 years to figure it out. We need to go to the time palace.
The mind palace.
Mind palace. that
Yeah.
Also
But
alters the time.
so I kind of have my own mind palace. I don't necessarily escape to it,
yeah.
but I do continue to imagine it and build it up when I think of different things.
And that's your dream house.
My dream house is something very similar to what you're describing, with the roof being the ground, the outside ground.
Like a hobbit house?
No, it would be actually my idea is having a simple ranch style home that looks like it was built in the 70s. But there's about I don't know, let's say 10 to 50 levels, and each level would be a different themed room. So instead of having different room like a house or a mansion, it has a few levels and a bunch of different rooms. But my house would be it'd be so you have the ranch style house on top that's a facade,
Yeah.
but then you can actually go down level by level, and each room is a single room. So you can go down, and the deeper you go, the more fucked up it gets.
What? You wanted to
Yeah.
intentionally live in a fucked up house?
Yeah.
Like
And-
a house of 1,000 corpses?
No, I mean, when I no, not a crumbling mess or anything. I just mean the more disturbing it would get.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean,
my house would essentially be I guess it'd kind of be like a Snowpiercer in a way,
yeah?
where
There's a train underground?
so imagine the train going straight down into the earth, as opposed to on the
gotcha.
horizontally on the earth.
It's kind of like the opposite of the Raisin Bran sun going down on the earth. It's like it's going into
It's
the
like a
earth.
sounding rod
Yeah,
going
it's
into the earth.
yeah, it's a sounding rod going directly into the earth.
But
That's gross.
Yeah, kind of is. Yeah. So my house is like a train, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's going down into the earth.
Yep, it's going down right into
And
that.
like the first like few levels would be normal, like it would be like the first level you go down, it's like a movie theater. And then you go like down to level 2 and it's like the music production studio. And you go down another level and it's like the chill room, like the man cave, like a bar and whatever and like fun shit.
Uh-huh.
But then like the more you keep going down, like the more it becomes like a Legend of Zelda type of like shrine where you have to like figure a puzzle, like an escape like an escape room.
Yeah.
And then my Magnus opus for the very bottom layer.
Yeah.
And this is where there will be a shaft or like a slide connecting from the front door.
Yeah.
So that like when somebody like rings the doorbell, I can like use a camera to see, and if I don't want them there, then I'm gonna like have a trap door right under the like porch, so I can like open up the shaft like in a cartoon, and they'll like slide down like 50 floors. Well, it probably wouldn't be that many. It'd probably be like 15. So you're talking about like sliding down like 200 plus feet
Whoa.
down to the bottom room where you just come out of a flap, out of like the ceiling, and then the room is just like miles wide in every direction, pure white. Nothing but a giant white, like nothing, like expanse of
Yeah, it's like a hyperbolic time chamber.
like an
Yeah.
like just an abyss, but there's like no puzzle to figure out. There's
Yep,
just
there's-
absolutely nothing.
It's just you and white.
And all the furthest walls, because there have to be walls, it can't be an endless expanse.
That's true. You got to think of the
but they'd
realism of
they'd be
this.
like miles in my ideal like fantasy. They'd be like miles wide in
I mean,
every
depending
direction.
on how deep you are in
And then
the
at-
Earth house, that you might
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You might be able to make that happen, but
you could do that. There's
with-
miles
with
of
some-
Earth under there.
with some engineering skills. But and then at the walls of all the edges, it would just be mirrors, so it would look like it's like infinity, because it's
Yeah.
all white.
Yep. Wow.
So then, like, if there was somebody that I, didn't want at my house or something, or like if I had like an enemy, like now I'm thinking of like as if I'm fucking Batman or something.
Yeah.
Like this is how like, fantastical my mind is as a child, to where like, but it still sounds cool, like just as like a fantasy house. And yeah, so like if I had an enemy, I would invite them over for a dinner party, but when they show up, they get dropped through a fucking trap door and end up in a white abyss.
Oh man.
And then I would also
What if-
have like monitors, like speakers, so I can like communicate with them.
Dude, what if
Like
what
a
if-
fucking Saw,
yeah.
like Jigsaw from the Saw movies.
that would be really creepy.
And
And then you can tell him to do things like
then, sorry, I have to tell you this.
yeah.
But one of the rooms that I had an idea for when I was a little kid, I don't know if it would be that cool now, but one of the rooms would just be like nothing but like McDonald's play pit balls. Like just a giant like 80 by 80 foot room of all plastic balls.
That would be fun though.
I know, it would be
I've
fucking
always wanted
fun.
to go through like a giant ball
Yeah, like
pit,
a
like
giant
as an
one.
adult, because they don't make like giant ball pits very often. Wasn't there like there was like this convention that it was supposed to be like this big like new convention, and like all they bought was a ball pit, put it inside of like a hotel, and then like that's it. And then a bunch of people showed up, and it was just like a tiny ball pit.
Wait, you're saying what if? Or-
No, that actually exists. Like, I think there's a
Really?
real convention. I forget what that convention is called. I'm just gonna type in ball pit convention.
I
I need to.
thought it was funny though because I forgot about the ballroom.
Oh right. This is it. DashCon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot that we were already talking about balls anyways.
Yeah.
And then that's the one room that I forgot about. But that was like
Exactly.
my kid fantasy of having a.
Like I said, we talk about balls a lot here on the podcast. That's it. Okay, so DashCon was a fan convention catering primarily to users of the blogging service Tumblr, with a particular emphasis on fandom. So it was like a Tumblr convention, and like they like got all this funding for it from like a ton of people, and then they like the people who planned it did like a terrible job, and it ended up just being a
Oh
room with
my
a ball pit in it
God.
that a bunch of people showed up to.
And it's not even a big ball pit.
No, it's like this tiny ball pit.
Oh man, that's funny. That's like a meme now.
Yeah, $17,000 ball pit because that's how much money they put into it.
Holy fuck.
Oh man, but yeah,
How?
I
Where
don't-
did all the money go?
I don't know. We could look it up. Like, I'm curious if people would be interested to know about DashCon, although it was like a pretty big thing when it happened among the
It was in
community.
It was in Schaumburg, Illinois.
DashCon history. Since we're all about history today. Okay. DashCon was originally announced in mid-2013 under the name TumbleCon USA, a convention catered to the, Tumblr people, whatever, largest gathering of Tumblers to date. Okay, this is the Wikipedia page. There has to be something about it on here. Okay. The convention was it had to have been in Ohio, of course. The convention was originally by DashCon LLP in Hudson, Ohio, based limited, whatever. Yeah, but it's in Ohio, the place that funded this or whatever. But, like, okay, here we go. Receptions and aftermath.
Attendees were seen performing a 3-finger salute from Hunger Games. I don't know, chatting lines from High School Musical. Sorry, go ahead.
But, yeah, the reception and aftermath. The ball pit, roughly the size of a kiddie pool, in an otherwise attempt a concession hall.
Otherwise
Oh, God.
empty concession hall.
Yeah, thank you. And notion of an extra hour in it quickly became a meme among attendees and other Tumblr users, inspired parodies. Users envisioned other large quantities of items that could have been purchased with the $17,000, and a video game developer created DashCon Simulator 2014.
A comedic simulation of the convention's ball pit.
So, convention guest Marsh Oshiro explained that the ball pit was not a point of interest. It was something of a single soul talked about, and it was just a quirky thing that existed. And that in order to support the idea that DashCon was a full 100% disaster, every single detail was used to paint the con and the people at it as a horrific failure of humanity. Well, so they used the ball pit to cover up how bad the convention was and made the ball pit into a meme, but it costed $17,000 to do.
That's insane.
So, yeah, man, Dash, you try and start something and it turns into that. It's like nobody.
Well, Ryan, as long as our podcast doesn't turn into DashCon, I think we're going to be just fine.
I need to have a drink for that.
Cheers.
I'm scared. Cheers to us not being as bad as Dash.
Cheers to people also search for.
Yeah. Yeah. We like to say the name halfway through the podcast.
Yeah.
Here at People Also Search For. So you remember that it's us you're talking to and us that you were listening to. And you know what? Talk back. Give us a comment. And tell us what you want to see us search for whenever you want.
Yeah. If you don't want to go all the way to youtube.com, you can also go to facebook.com.
Yeah. Or
/ people also search for.
or just Spotify, man.
Well, you can't leave a comment on Spotify.
That's true.
So, say hi on Facebook or whatever.
But you can leave a 5-star review on
On
iTunes.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can write whatever you want in there.
Oh, yeah, you can write stuff.
Yeah, you can write us a nice comment in there, or like
Yeah.
a mean one, or just like anything. Like
Any
any
comment.
thought that you have, and just write it in there.
'Cause
and then
we wanna-
hit that 5-star.
Yeah.
We want it. Anyway, I went back to our pinball here because,
Yeah, we didn't make it very far.
we made it like one sentence into what pinball is.
Yeah, I don't even remember where we diverged or why, but
Something about Tommy.
I'll
Melton
remember.
John.
I'll remember when I'm editing this episode.
Yeah, you will. Okay.
Oh.
The pinball history begins nearly 100 years earlier than the 1970s and 80s when it was, a big old thing.
When it was a big old thing.
I'm going to just go to where the first pinball games were. Bingo. Bingo was his name-o. Made by the Bingo
Nailed it.
Novelty Company. was a countertop mechanical game released in 1931. It was also the first machine manufactured by D. Gottlieb. Oh, Gottlieb and Company, who were contracted to produce the game. Gottlieb, that's a big pinball company. Baffle Ball, was made by David Gottlieb and Company and was a countertop mechanical game released in 1931. In 1935, Gottlieb released an electromechanical standing version of Baffle Ball with a payout. Oh, you could get money out.
Gambling.
Ooh, gambling. That's bad.
Yeah, it was in the 30s, so yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Ooh, so these
It
were
was after
gambling
the
machines.
yeah, it was like around the time of what do you call that? Prohibition, when they had plenty of like illegal gambling and drinking going on at
Yeah.
like speakeasies and shit.
Going to the speakeasies, play a couple of slots, Get yourself a nice bootleg beer.
Yeah, and that's where NASCAR came from.
Yeah, but the term pinball itself was not even like used in arcades until 1936.
Okay. So the name, like,
Yeah, they
pinball-
weren't called that before, but they were the similar games, but it wasn't actually called pinball until
Yeah.
1936.
It says the bumper was invented in 1937.
Wow.
It was made by Ballyhoo.
Nice job, Ballyhoo. I want to know. Oh, this is a short website. It's not telling us that much about pinball.
Well, and then it says mid-century innovations.
Whoa.
They, obviously, like, evolved quite a bit.
They did. I was hoping to see something dark, like there was like a gambling hidden society of pinballers who
Well,
used it to fund the drug industry or like the underground mafia or something. I was hoping it would be that.
not every history is riddled with corruption, Ryan.
But there's a few things we might get to find out.
I mean, after all, it is a game that's supposed to be fun.
True, but it was a gambling machine at one point. So, gambling, mafia.
Well, you can...
you know
well,
what I'm saying? Scarface.
I'd say that making money
Cocaine.
off of a little bar, like a little bar, bar side entertainment, is probably not the highest like form of organized crime.
Yeah, I was just hoping that that's what the history would be. That's what I imagined it. I was like, I like pinball, and I like to imagine that I'm a gangster of pinball.
Well, there's
Like,
one article that's called that time America outlawed pinball, so maybe there was a little bit of
History.com. That's legitimate.
They
know everything about
it says history, so it must be true.
History Channel. Wow. On March 6, 1948, a New York City patrolman in plain clothes entered a cigar store on 106th Street in East Harlem.
106th
and
Street.
He dropped a penny into a machine called the Marvel Pop-Up. More Disney bullshit. He pulled back to the game's plunger, and he launched a small steel ball into play. The silver orb danced around the tabletop board as the uncover policeman tried to keep it in play. His first 5 shots ended in frustration, but his 6th try proved lucky as the metallic pellet landed in a hole that won him a free play. He won a free play.
Gotcha.
Having finally made his shot, the patrolman placed the cigar store's owner into handcuffs and arrested him for unlawful possession of gambling machines. The arrest was just the latest in a crackdown on one of the perceived scourges of American society in the 1940s, pinball. Wow. Jacob, they were like gangsters. They could win free games of pinballs. They probably made so much money.
Yeah, I was viewed as a menace to society, apparently.
Wow, maybe this is more interesting than I thought. You wanna continue this?
Yeah, before the advent of flippers in 1947, it was considerably different game from what it is today. Except for a tipping machine, the player were at the mercy of a random amount of the ball. Players gambled on games, and operators handed out prizes from free games and gum, all the way up to jewelry and chainware. Ooh, bling.
Wow.
While law enforcement and civic groups looked askance at pinball for its gambling connections, churches and school boards also argued that it corrupted the morals of America's children by encouraging them to steal coins, skip school, in order to play, and even go hungry by wasting their money on this frivolous pursuit.
Dude.
So it's basically just a bunch of bullshit that America didn't want people to have fun.
Pinball machines were like the cell phone apps of the 1930s. They didn't want the kids to be wasting their money and skipping school to
More like video
stealing
games, I think.
yeah, video games.
I mean,
But there were video games.
the same
too.
thing happened with video games
True.
later on. So
True.
this essentially is just the precursor to video games in a way.
Yeah, I don't know if I would assume the first pinball machine came out before the first video game.
Yeah, we already established that.
Well, when did Pong come out? Or what was? I don't even know if that was the first video game.
Well, there weren't any computers in the 1930s, Ryan.
Doesn't mean there couldn't have been a video game.
That's exactly what it means.
Are you sure? Hang on. I just need to look up what the date of the.
There was barely TVs
When?
in the 1930s.
You're probably right. When were the first video games? When were the first video games? October 1958. The first video game. So yeah, that was way before video games.
Yeah. I mean, they had to have some sort of entertainment. And then before pinball, it was like hoop and stick. And they rolled a hoop down the street with a
Hoop
fucking
and
stick. Yeah, hoop and stick.
Oh, Ashley, did you get the new hoop and stick game? They had it over at the general store. Hoop and stick. I wonder if you can still buy a hoop and stick. I should look that up on Amazon. Hoop and stick. Oh!
Yeah, I didn't make that up.
No, but
Hoop rolling.
I
yeah.
wonder if you can still buy a hoop and stick.
Well, you can buy a hula hoop, which is essentially what it was.
True, except they just rolled it around on the street.
Yeah, with a stick.
Okay, when was the hoop? People also ask, when was the hoop and stick invented? It's like cavemen. First recorded in Greece in the 5th century BC. This simple game in which a person rolls a hoop along the ground using a stick or other object. Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Occurred almost simultaneously. Oh,
So-
in Europe. in
So
Asia, and
essentially,
Africa.
for hundreds of years, or thousands of years, it was just rolling a hoop with a stick.
Man, we got lucky, dude. We
Yeah.
got cell phones and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like a couple, even not even a whole long time ago. It was just like children rolling a hoop with a stick, and now we're like, man, I can't wait for that new Pokemon game. Or it's like, man, this took 4 minutes to download. Man, I could have been outside playing with a hoop and stick that whole
Yeah.
time. It's like you don't even know how to have shelter. You just have a hoop and stick. It's like before it's like it was around when they were living in caves and they didn't even have shelter yet.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So the olden days of pinball were just like the door cracking open for what entertainment would become.
Yeah,
That really is a important part of America, Ryan.
it is, and it's a fun game.
Yeah.
You remember that pinball machine you and I were playing at the at Pins, and it was called Hurricane, right?
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that? And it was it was a bunch of clowns.
Yeah, that was actually a really fun one.
It had a clown coaster, but the weird thing about it is all the clowns on the bumpers were basically humping each other, and it was and then the flippers, there's a big spread eagle clown with his crotch right where the ball goes down the
Wait,
center
that's
of the
how the
flipper.
flippers were?
Yeah. No, I gotta look this up for you. Hurricane pinball machine. Now, this is worth looking up because the artwork on it is funny. I need to find a good old picture of this.
It is funny, but it was actually really entertaining.
Yeah, it's a good game. I'm not saying it's not a good game. Hang on, I gotta find a picture of
It's like his hands are holding the flippers.
his hands are holding the flippers, but look at his legs.
Oh,
He's
at the bottom. Yeah,
he's
at the very
spread
bottom.
eagle. He spread ego.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, the area where the ball rolls down off the side, that it's like his
Yeah.
legs there, like spread on either side.
in a pinball machine, there's a hole in the bottom of the machine where if it goes through the flippers, it goes in and reloads it. His asshole is literally that hole. And he's like sitting there, like balls going into his ass, spread eagle, like, and then just with a big old smile on his face, holding the two
Yeah.
flippers in his hands like he's
Yeah.
playing a drum.
Yeah. Yep.
That is what this pinball machine looks like.
Yeah, that is. I forgot that it had his legs on there. That's so fucking stupid.
But then the bumpers are like two clowns humping each other. Like the one on the left is like thrusting forward with an enormous, like an amazing grace, and then the one on the
With amazing
yeah,
grace.
like an amazing grace, and then like the one on the right is just like bending over and taking it. Like he's just bending over with his ass popped out, like he's some twerking girl on Instagram or something.
It's a thought clown.
It's a thought clown and like a vigorously humping one. Like I'm talking like SpongeBob pelvic woo humping like into this dude
With amazing grace.
with amazing grace.
How sweet the sound.
Amazing grace, how sweet the ass. But yeah, like that's what I imagine him as. He's just this clown, and then, you know, this is happening directly above the face of the other clown who's got the balls, like his butt on the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you know, and then like there's a big old clown roller coaster carnival happening on the backboard.
Well, balls going into a clown's ass really sets us up for a good little sliver of time that we have left for Jacob and Ryan's search of the week.
Woo! Jacob and Ryan search of the
We
week.
said we would do it at the end of last week's show, so I feel like we should check out something random here from one of our this week's search history.
Yes, we will check out our search history now. Now we gotta look through this. I've got my search manual.
So the search that I had recently was for the Mason-Dixon line.
The Mason-Dixon line?
Yeah, I don't know what even made me think of it, but
Interesting search.
I just thought of, I don't know, it doesn't matter anyways. But yeah, I was like, what the hell is the Mason-Dixon line? Because I've heard it before, and I know it's like, you know, a part of the history of America, but I was just like, what even is it? And, you know, I didn't really spend a lot of time looking into it, so I figured bring it in for a topic here on the show.
All right. Well, the first thing people also ask is, why is the Mason-Dixon line so important?
Yeah, I mean, it was a line surveyed between 1763 and 67 by Charles Mason and Jeremiah Dixon, and the resolution of a border dispute involving Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Delaware in colonial America. So it's kind of cool, like, because it actually is like where a big like portion of the border for different states was like formulated, all the way like splitting down like from, you know, like they said, Maryland and Pennsylvania, all the way to like over West Virginia and like the border between Ohio and Kentucky and like Indiana, and, you know, all the way down to the southwest where the western border of Texas is.
Yeah. On here, it's like talking about the Underground Railroad and how they were going across like the line, the Mason-Dixon line, to escape slavery.
Yeah. It represented freedom for many African Americans.
That's so important in America. It represented freedom. The freedom to have balls in this country.
Yeah. And they did.
They did. It probably took a lot of balls to like get on the Underground Railroad and ride that sucker all the way across the line.
Ride it.
Well, I mean, like,
What did they ride?
I know that it wasn't an actual like, you know, train.
Yeah, I hoped that you knew that.
Yeah, it was just like it was the code name for the escape for the.
Yeah, and it was very
Important.
very hard struggle for a lot of people, but
Yeah,
I just
they had a lot of balls doing that.
I didn't
I'm
know-
glad they did.
I was mostly like wondering like what it was and like what like why it's there, like what, but it's essentially just like started out as like a resolution to a border dispute, and then it like stretched all the way across the country eventually.
That's crazy.
Yeah, cuz like there's a lot of different things that like make up like how each state got the shape that it has.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of times it has to do with rivers, but then sometimes it's because of like land disputes and stuff. And then like the more times that like states got introduced, like the more times the like map looked different.
Yeah, it's probably why there's things like Virginia and like West Virginia, because it's like.
Yeah, at some point there was like some sort of like territory type like claim.
Yeah. They were like, we were Virginia, but now we're just West Virginia. It's like that. We're not the OG Virginia. Fuck those guys, you know?
Yeah, and there's a thing that says, did you know the Mason-Dixon line was marked by stones every mile and crown stones every 5 miles using stone shipped from England?
Whoa!
Yeah,
They got their
That's
stones shipped
crazy.
all the way from another continent. That's insane.
yeah, to like literally markate like where the line was.
Wow. You would think that they would want to use just like regular American stones. Like why did it have to be from that far away? These stones need to be quality. We don't do quality in America.
Yeah, I guess they wanted particular stones that were like from like their home country.
I only want stones from England.
Because it was in colonial times. It was before America was actually founded.
Oh, well, that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still really far away, though.
they probably believed that if you wanted anything quality, you had to get it imported because there was no like, there weren't like huge like production areas in the country. Like it was just
Yeah.
colonies.
There
you
weren't
know?
any, like, Flintstone-esque, like, quarries out there getting stones made. So they had to go to the
Yeah, exactly. There was no,
English.
yeah. They had to call back home like, hey,
Called
can you
King George.
you ship us some stones? We're trying to lay this motherfucker out right now.
Yeah. We're trying to...
Well, actually, that's probably why the stones came from England, because they were the ones that were technically like founding the country, because it was
Yeah.
before America was its own country.
True. Before it was,
The United States of America.
yeah, the greatest...
Fair to be an American, where
At least I know I'm free.
All right, Ryan, what did you want to look up?
All right,
I'm
so-
sure everyone's really impressed with how well we investigated what the Mason-Dixon line
they
is.
probably are.
So let's
I mean, my
let's
searches are
transition
usually
over to
a little bit.
what did you search for recently?
I mean, I've searched for quite a few things.
We all do.
One of the things that pops out to me is Jones Good Ass Barbecue and Foot Massage. But-
Oh wait, is that like that meme thing?
yeah.
I saw like a picture of it or something, and I was like, oh man, I need to look that up.
Yeah.
Or watch that, whatever it is. It's a video, right?
It is.
Okay.
You should look it up.
Yeah.
Jones Good Ass Barbecue and Foot Massage. And
Is it like one of those like funny like homemade videos of like a rap thing? Like
Well, no, it's like just it's like a fake advertisement for a restaurant called Jones Good Ass Barbecue and Foot Massage. It's just like a dude dancing. Oh wait, there's Robert L. Hines.
he's handsome.
He's an American comedian and actor, and he's mostly known for Jones Barbecue and foot massage ad. Whoa! Robert claims he did it for the meme.
Of course he
yes,
did.
Robert, you did it for the meme.
So is he? Oh, he already was a comedian like before he did that.
I guess, and then, but that kind of sucks though. That says something about his comedy.
So the whole
career.
thing. So essentially, the whole thing is just a comedy bit. Like it never was like an actual like
No,
advertisement.
it wasn't real.
Oh my god. Ah, okay. Oh yeah, it's clearly like deliciable. All right, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah. So I'm sure nobody ever thought that was a real advertisement.
No, but it's just like,
That's great. Well, I'm glad he like got like a lot of recognition for making it. Because I've thought about making like fake like advertisements for like companies that don't exist or that do exist even.
yeah, he really went a long way, because like he started working as a cook from a county jail or at a county jail, and he began working as a corrections officer at Chicago's Cook County Jail in 1994. At the age of 24, he quit the job in 2003 when he was cast cast to star in an independent comedy movie. That's a really weird like transition, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
He really made it. But I'm sure he's like super excited that like Jones Barbecue and foot massage is what he's known for.
Well, I'm sure he's known for other stuff too.
Yeah, but there's one that reigns above the rest, and we all know what it is. There's just so many like cool comedy bits that have come from like random people and like Saturday Night Live and all of those shows, and like some people, and you never even know what they're from. Like this, I feel like this is an example of that. Like this could have been on like one of those shows, but it was just something he made and like threw up, and like that's what he became famous for. That's amazing because he like didn't even need those shows.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what hopefully we can do stuff like that at some point, and that's why I like Tim and Eric. They're like a pretty big inspiration for like that type of comedy, and they did a lot of like fake ads.
Yeah,
it was like half of their show.
Yeah, I look up to people like Robert L. Hines and Tim and Eric. Not if they're. I don't know if they're on the same level.
Well, actually, Tim and Eric now they actually do ads for companies that are just like really bizarre ads. Like they did one for Purple Mattress where they're like looking all fucking weird and like, hey, like you gonna love this mattress, like doing a weird character for the actual company.
Wow.
And then like they also produced a commercial for Smirnoff that had Zach Galifianakis in it.
Really?
Yeah, and it was just like just a comedy bit, but it was an advertisement for vodka, which is like, oh hell yeah, like that's a good way to
get
like
your attention.
Yeah, and that I mean, obviously, most like TV commercials they use comedy for the purpose of selling their product. I mean, think about how many people watch like the Super Bowl just to watch the like funny commercials.
That's exactly where my mind went because I was like, there's people who don't even care about football that watch it just to see like the quality commercials that they put on. Mostly, like, I remember always